Bulu Semwagu is joined by Tevetiaf.
Thank you, Amechi. Good morning, and good morning, dear listener. Our counting on the strike stops today, and we want to congratulate Nigerian students for waiting this long. Congratulate also their parents, guardians, and also especially congratulate the Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbadagba for his intervention. As you rightly said, Amechi, 2 days ago, that the ministers failed, the Senate president failed, the president himself was not able to persuade the lecturers until the Speaker intervened. And Amechi, we are expecting a comprehensive statement from ASU. The reasons they are going to give, we know one obvious one is the appeal court 7 days, giving them 7 days to resume lectures before the appeal can be heard. But let's wait for their release to know other issues that resulted to this and what their position would be regarding their demands. You know, rightly, I said here 2 days ago that what we will be expecting from us will be a conditional suspension, and that's what we just got. They will suspend it conditionally so that the appeal court can hear it. Yeah. But I don't know why they struggle to go to court. And you see some international organizations, if you take their issues to court, they will sack you. You don't take their issues to court because it's taxpayers' money they're using to run. Even the ASU we're talking about, whose money are they using to go to court? It's check-off dues. It's dues for members. They're using to go to court. So you take members' dues and you're going to solve court issue. Well, TV will always tell them, settle out of court. And let's quickly look at the issues. ASU has demanded for the use of University Transparency and Accountability Solution in place of IPPIS
as a payment
platform. And in the last 1 month, government has kept shouting that we are going to accommodate your peculiarities in IPPIS. And even in the president's budget presentation, Amici, a paragraph there, the president said they're going to extend the coverage of IPPIS. That speaks volume whether they will consider any alternative payment platform. So the UTAS by ASU, the U3PS by non-academic staff, they are all threatened. So we're expecting the release from ASU to know to mention that. Secondly, is the issue of revitalization fund, which they are requesting 1.something trillion to universities. The government, the president has mentioned 470 billion in the budget that will be part of revitalization fund to ASU. Would they now accept that in their release? We're expecting that. Thirdly, the issue of renegotiation of 2009 and 2013 agreement. So how far so far with the Professor Nimi Briggs committee? Are they going to reflect the percentage salary increase the committee mentioned or proposed in their release? We're expecting all these. And finally, the 8-month salary that they are being owed right now. Today is October 14th and marks exactly 8 months since they went on strike on February 14th. Are they going to ask government or appeal to government to pay them their salary backlog already? Or they are going to just suspend conditionally for 1 day, go to court, and continue the fight? When two elephants keep fighting, the grass keeps suffering. The students are suffering a lot. If you go to private universities, the economy is suffering.
The future of the country, which is most important for me.
Yes, if you go to private universities that keep running advertisement for students, they have not run advertisement. Why? Because the schools are flooded. The parents have taken their children in 100 level, 200 level out of public universities to private universities. They're looking for money all around. My brother just arrived in Enugu, taking his daughter to a private university. So he can't keep waiting. She has spent almost 1 year or after getting admission.
I have a friend, Teve, who said he still has strong belief in the public university system, that they are far better in terms of quality of staff, equipment, and that reputation, because you can't take reputation away from university. And this strike has forced him to begin to have a rethink because the psychological trauma on the children was what he couldn't manage. Their peers, as they left secondary school, are graduating who were in private schools, and they're already falling behind in life, in the race in life. So his belief in public university system has come to naught, as it were, and there are no guarantees that next 2023 there will not be further strike. Like I said, and like our listener will also remind us, there's blessing to be learned for everybody.
Amici, good morning to you, good morning, listener. Perhaps we'll start from where it concerns every Nigerian. Those who have registered should please go get their PVCs. If you register before January 15, please go get your PVC. It's available at...
We'll have a mail telling us how the listener went to INEC office, who the listener registered this year, but he was asked that for those of this year, they are not ready yet, because I heard you say before January 15th. Perhaps he didn't quite grab the information. Theirs will be ready by next month, we were told. So those that should be going are those that registered before January 15th, 2022.
Yes, exactly. Amici, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it's a generation thing. You and I suffered strike in Nigerian universities. In fact, as at the time we were living, the private universities had not,
fully picked up.
There was no private university,
as it were. So, but after that, we've seen, even after we left, we've seen, when I say we've seen, we have a number of them working with us as interns, as youth corps members, and all of that. And from that, you can, identify the quality of, the persons that have been, graduated from these schools. I will just leave it at that. If you are in any office, you've had to deal with any of them, you know exactly what we are talking about. So it's not whether it's even public universities alone. It's a crisis in the Nigerian education system, not just even tertiary university education, polytechnics, colleges of education, everything from primary all the way, as it were. So it's a huge issue. Some states like Gombe, some states, I think Kaduna too, at some point and all of that, declare state of emergency to see how they can, turn around the situation. I don't know how far.
That's the education.
The education, yes. I don't know how far, they've gone with that, but we have a crisis in our education system, and the earlier we think about it, the better, on how we can arrest the situation. ASU was condemned, like I said, at the beginning of the week, to call off the strike this week. In fact, I don't even know whether they've not even crossed the time that the court had given them, because if they gave you 7 days and if the court says 7 days, it starts counting on the day, that order was given. So
on the day you were served.
On the day you were in court now. So it was,
yesterday was the 7th day.
The 7th day.
So they started their meeting yesterday, so which means they are in line.
The announcement was made this morning. So if government is to even take them up on the issue,
content of
those
course.
are several issues that, but we won't go into that. The good thing is everybody.
No victor, no vanquished.
Everybody, the students will go back to school, and whether the lecturers are in the right frame of mind to even teach the way they should teach is another thing. Don't forget the ASU president at the meeting with the speaker and the leadership of the house. He said, if you force the teachers to go back, what kind of teaching are you expecting them to teach? We are at that place now. So when
you raised one important thing, that there is a crisis, and I agree with you. There was this summit, education summit in Lagos.
Education Writers Association of Nigeria in Lagos had a summit, and they discussed the issue of the UNESCO new revelation of 20 plus million out of school children. And I asked,
and they were denying, questioning
some government officials
figure,
were
saying it's not right.
And we asked, did they add the over 2 million university students to the number that have been at home? Did they add those just out of the country to get education outside into the number? But we have to also ask the Nigerian government that is denying this, what data have you provided? You remember early in the year, the minister kept arguing that the number of out of school children is 6.something million, and we told him no. You have your government officials saying it's 13.2 million, the UBEC. Now you have UNESCO coming back again to say it's 20 million. Amici, as Teve has said, there is a crisis in our hands. And if we don't solve it now, quickly on the issue of the universities, Amici, there is a perception that those that attend public universities are rugged. they come out with ruggedity because
Courtism?
No, not courtism.
Yes, courtism is there.
No, not courtism per se.
Is there no courtism in private
Not
university?
as much.
It's ruggedity. You are mixed up with the children of the poor and the rich. You are middle class and high class.
Streetwise.
You become streetwise,
Okay.
and you have your lecturers to the streetwise lecturers. You are not pampered. You are not giving
when
food.
When they accused me of not making my children to be streetwise, I said, I'm training those that be boardroom wise. Will you want them to be streetwise or boardroom wise? I said, I prefer them to be boardroom wise. Well, the issues are very clear. The government and even you see state government, when an unemployment figure come out and it's to their disadvantage, their states that have huge number, they will say, they question the validity. And each time I think I should just go out of my way, and I wouldn't want to say here what I want to do to them, because it's so painful that I wonder whether they exist in this earth or whether they went to school at all in the first place. When the outcome of a survey comes out, they don't even digest it. They just look at the conclusion and begin to attack it. The reasonable, rational thing for you to do is to look at the methodology employed. Then you now take it to task, to use their methodology to carry out your own research, a survey. The outcome will tell you whether they are right or wrong. Now, without doing that, you just out of nothing, you begin to question it. You said 20 million children are not in school in Nigeria is a false figure. Have you undertaken your own survey, your own study to find out? Just get us your own. We'll talk about the methodology, you use the framework, and we'll take it up from there. So even state governments do it, political parties do it, and on this 20 million out of school children, it's very clear that there's a redirection of priorities by the different governments. Basic education is free in Nigeria.
Supposed to be free.
It's free. Yeah, it's supposed to be free based on the act establishing the
UBEC.
Yes. Now, what we have seen is that instead of pushing money into basic education up to JSS 3, because by what standard, by the time you educated up to that level, you can read and write, you can function effectively, even though you may not have advanced degrees. But we know that it's the fewer number of people in the society that have advanced degrees. But you see governments at all over in Nigeria, there are states that have 5 or 4 universities. These states will channel resources to where they don't need it and leave out those where they need it. In Abuja, for instance, in a book I just published, this is Politics of Development in Nigeria. I did a study of number of pupils in public schools and private schools, and I discovered there are more pupils and students in private schools than in public schools. I also did a study of all the hospitals in Federal Capital Territory, and I discovered that there are more private hospital beds than public hospital beds. These are 2 areas where government should put in money, but this result of this survey has told us that the government is not putting money where they're supposed to put money. So you desist from allow the private persons. You can provide scholarship and other cushion to help those that want to go and take expensive university education, but put the money where you should put it to reduce the huge number of out-of-school children.
Before you come in, the Universal Basic Education is spending about 2 billion naira to conduct school census and personnel audit. I think they started 2-3 months ago. We are waiting for them to tell us how many number of personnel we have in our schools, how many number of school structure we have in Nigeria, how many pupils we have. That they did it in 2018, and that's when they got about 10 million. And UNESCO contested it. There is more than 10 million. And I don't expect Nigerian government to keep challenging UNESCO, because we have signed conventions. Okay. We have signed international conventions allowing them to conduct such research.
I wonder why they are even spending, you said 20 billion?
2 billion.
2 billion. I wonder why they are even, because you just need to call a commissioner of information. The commissioner needs to call maybe the education secretary in the local government. They will give you the data of the secondary schools they have, the primary schools they have, the number of students and teachers that they have. This is what you can get in 24 hours. So whatever they are spending 2 billion on,
much more than that.
Whatever they are spending 2 billion on, it's left to them. Like I keep saying, civil servants, they can always do anything. It's not just even the schools, classrooms, even the teachers. I mean, you were in this country when teachers in Edo State, in Abulu State,
quality of teachers.
We're in this country when the results in Kaduna State, we've seen.
Kaduna State government set exams for teachers. They gave them primary 4 students test. Majority of